Hi, I'm Roxanne Richardson, and this is Technique Tuesday. When you are creating the long tail cast on, you have two strands. So the thumb yarn is creating a twisted loop, which you immediately knit with that index finger yarn. So the index finger yarn is the one that's ending up on the needle, and the thumb yarn is the one that's creating twisted loops that twist to the right underneath the needle. When you've completed your long tail cast on, if you're knitting flat, you will have to turn the work, and your first row will be worked with the bumpy side facing you. If you are knitting in the round, this smooth side of the cast on will be facing you all the time. So if you are knitting along in your first row and a stitch falls off the needle and you lose that cast on stitch, you can fix this. You don't have to pull everything off the needles and cast on again. It's not a big deal to cast on again if you've only got a few stitches like I have, but if you have cast on hundreds of stitches, it is kind of a big deal. So the first thing you're going to want to do if you're knitting flat is turn this so that the right side is actually facing you. I find that it's just a little easier to fix this mistake if that smooth side is facing. So you have to distinguish the two different strands. Which one is creating the cast on edge and which one was being used to create the stitches on the needle. If you're not sure, you can look for which strand is coming out between two stitches, which is this one right here, and that means this is the one that's creating that twisted edge. And the other one and you can pull on it a little bit, you can see that it gets tighter on the needle. That one is the one that's creating the stitches on the needle. So you're going to fix this like you could fix a make one increase, a make one right increase. You're going to take your left needle and you're going to lift that strand that is meant for the twisted stitch edge. You're going to come down behind it and lift it up. If you forget to come down behind, or you don't remember if you're supposed to come down behind or not, look at the strand on your needle once it's on there. It needs to be angled to the right, just like all of these twisted stitches are angled to the right. So then you take your right hand needle and you lift up the other strand and place it on your left hand needle next to the other one. This one is going to be angled to the left. Now you can fix the cast on stitch. You're going to take that right leaning stitch, that edge stitch, and you're going to pass it over the other stitch and off the needle. And so now you can see that when you've passed it off, you've got a twisted loop that angles to the right, and you have fixed it. And so if you're knitting flat, you're going to have to turn your work again, and you're going to look at the yarn is attached to the last stitch that was worked, and this one hasn't been worked yet. It's just been fixed. So we transfer that one back to the left hand needle, and then we can carry on. Now, if you found that tricky, I'm going to show you how you can do this with a crochet hook. So we're going to let this one come off the needle like that. Again, we're going to turn the work so that that smooth side is facing, and we're going to get a crochet hook. And again, we need to know which one is the strand that's creating these twisted loops. And we can see that this one that's coming between those two stitches on the needle, that's the twisted one. So you're going to put the hook down behind, and then you're going to twist so that the hook is actually twisting to the right. So I'm going to twist it like that. And then I can go underneath that other strand and pull it through the twisted one like that. And then get it onto a needle, one of the needles. And then again, if you are working flat, you need to turn the work. You can turn it and move that stitch to the left hand needle. All right, so let's look at an example where you didn't drop the cast on stitch on the first row around, but something fell off the needle and without you realizing it. Maybe you put it in your bag and you didn't realize it and you lost a stitch and it dropped all the way down to that cast on edge. I'm using a kind of sticky wool. It's not a superwash wool. Slippery yarns like rayon yarns like bamboo or something like that might be more of an issue. They might be more prone to slip off the needle and drop down like this. So if you have a case like this, once again, you're going to look for that lowest strand, and you can see this one right here. It's to the right of that column of stitches. So this is indicating that this is the edge yarn. So once again, you're going to come down behind that strand, turn to the right to get you that right twist. And then you're going to work your way up this ladder, chaining up with the crochet hook, going for the lowest rung each time in order to do that. So once you've got the first one, then you can just work your way back up. So this time a column of pearls has dropped all the way down. So we're going to start out the same by recovering that cast on stitch, smooth side facing. We find the strand that's creating the cast on stitch. It's between those two knit stitches. We put the hook behind, turn it to the right to twist it, grab that lowest rung of the ladder and pull it through. But now we want to chain up purl stitches, and that's going to be easier to do from the other side of the work. So we're going to turn the work this way, but the problem we have is that the hook is pointing in the wrong direction. So we're going to pinch that stitch and put the hook back in the other way. And now we can chain our way back up using knit stitches, because the back side of a purl stitch is a knit stitch. Once you understand how to fix a dropped long tail cast on stitch, you'll see the connection to fixing a make one increase as shown in this video over here, or how to fix a knit or purl stitch that has fallen off the needle without having to use a crochet hook as shown in this video here. If you have any comments or questions about this video or suggestions for videos you'd like to see in the future, you can leave those down in the comments below or join the discussion in my Ravelry group, Rox Rocks. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.